people don't understand what's been done to them.
What the banks did was reprehensible. That was why there was the outrage of the greed of the bankers when we gave them money that was supposed to help them lend to others, but they decided to use that money to pay themselves bonuses. For what? For record losses?
We are governed by corporations today, often by corporations that don't have very much interest in the United States of America.
We are entering the age of consequence, a rapacious financial system, escalating organised violence, and the looming environmental fallout are all converging at a time when governments, religion, and mainstream economists have stalled. War, conquest, famine, and death. The four horsemen are coming.
Here we go then, here we go. Okay, little Mike Levels messing about. You can hear me, matey?
I can.
It is Tuesday the 14th of January 2014. Welcome to the show we call Unpenned. We are quiet, aren't we?
We are.
We
Seem
are,
to
yeah.
be a bit tonight.
Oh, turn yourselves down on the wake. We've got to turn ourselves up to hear ourselves properly, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
Okay, we're live around the world. If it sounds too loud, turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, the sound settings we have, these are the ones that we work with. I can't tell you why they actually alter over the weeks, but
no,
they do.
It's strange.
But when we talk to each other like this, we need to hear what we're doing, don't we?
We do, yeah.
And we can now, can't we?
We can, yeah.
Happy days, happy days. So where are we going to start? Where am I going to start? I've got so much to talk about. But in the news ever since Christmas, or ever since the New Year, is the People's Voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
TPV.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first of all, I want to start by saying I have no axe to grind. Okay?
Nope.
I wish them well.
We do.
Okay? And here's good news or bad news. Could be both this. The good news was that just before 5 o'clock this evening, I was approached by a researcher for TPV for us to go on the show.
Very good.
Good news.
Yep.
No, it's bad news. If they've got to us, if they've got right down to us...
That's to the bottom of the barrel.
I was going to say... Where else is to go after us?
This is just our Tuesday night get-together.
I know, you think to yourself, guys, you really don't want us.
No.
Because we don't say the party line.
No.
We don't toe what you think is the acceptable way of talking.
No.
We don't choose to.
We don't, no.
Because we're fooling ourselves. Go back through the shows and you'll hear us. We're actually lying to each other.
Yeah.
Not you and I personally, but the people who play the fluffy game.
Yeah,
the fluffy game is great show, great info. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Right, this is rubbish.
It is. We're leaving Dreamland. I hope I've left Dreamland.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, let's go through a few finer points, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
If you spend your day listening to other people, which bit is you? All right, which bit is you? Mm-hmm. Let's start with the simple bit. Tell me something. I know I can't hear you, but do it in your head. Tell me something, okay, that nobody else has ever told you. Then describe what a thought is. And prove to me it's yours. You can't do it, can you?
Do it, no.
No, you can't, because this is the biggest bombshell that I don't think anybody gets that we try to share. We're copiers.
Yes.
We're born to be copiers.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a profound understanding that I don't know how to actually get it over to people.
No.
We are born to be copiers.
I came to terms with that a few months ago.
Yeah, but unless we choose to accept that we've been made in somebody else's image. Unless we choose to accept that all that's in our head has been put there by somebody who's got a vested interest in putting it there. Unless we choose to at least consider that this system is miles ahead of where we think it is. All the things that you think are coming in the future is here.
It is.
All right, it's already here.
We don't wear trainers for nothing.
We've been trained to run around this track our entire lives. We've been circling this oval forever. We've got some lovely people who are trying to wake the dead.
Yep.
Let's have a look at this radio station's name, shall we? Awake. Awake.
Yep.
All right? Please don't be offended, guys. If you're offended, don't listen to our Tuesday night chats. We're allowing you to listen because we're interested to see what you make of it all. But listen, you are. This is our chat, isn't it?
It is.
This is how we talk.
Yeah.
This is where we get the confidence to be us.
Yeah.
This is where every single day, inside our houses and outside our houses, we're the same one. We're the same person. We don't have a fancy dress costume that makes us act differently.
No.
I challenge anybody to match that. You tell me that you do that. Go on. Because if you work for somebody else, you don't. You cannot. You cannot possibly. And how do I say that you can prove that? Because if you work for somebody else and you go to the canteen or you go to lunch with one of your work partners, you're probably going to spend most of that time character assassinating somebody who works there or your boss. Okay? Now, in the real world where there's just one of you, you'd speak to them directly. Because you'd be the same person inside as you are outside. But look how we've been counterfeited. We don't recognise the inside so much now. Because the spiritual beings that we might once have been, and there's plenty of evidence, has been removed by religion. Our physical beings have been changed in what we're capable of and what we believe to be real.
Yeah.
Okay? Our spiritual and mental capacities and our physical capacities are now under attack.
They are.
And they're all under attack.
And each copy has been weakened.
Because every time you copy something, it becomes a less reliable copy.
Yeah. It's a genuine copy,
but it's been genuinely copied so much time that it becomes so counterfeit that it starts to become unrecognisable from its original product.
Yes. Yeah.
What we are circulating with at this level of existence is genuine copies. But how many times have they copied?
Exactly.
Because that's what Facebook is. It's just a copy system. From when you're 3 and 4 and 5 years old, you copy. And I know nobody wants to hear this, but that's why I make the claim that you lie to yourself all day. Because you won't admit it, will you? You won't admit that you are a copy. And wherever you go, and whatever you do, and whoever you listen to, you're still a copy. Okay? You're not thinking for yourself.
No.
You are cherry picking the things that you think are going to make you a better copy than the one next to you.
Yeah.
And the reason you can't broadcast it very well is because it's not you. And here's a bigger statement. And the reason you can't broadcast it properly is because you don't feel it. You don't actually feel it. Because when you get to a certain understanding of how this system works, you make claim through your entire lifetime that you feel things, but only when you break out of the prison cell, which you've been living in your entire life, do you really know the meaning of feeling. Because it hurts, doesn't it?
It does.
The name of this radio station is Awake. And awake is something that's left behind a boat, or anything that you trail has left in its wake an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
But a wake is something that you attend to mourn the dead.
You do.
Do you think this system might have? Do you think this system might have had us down as dead for a long time?
For a long time, yeah. Definitely.
How far do you think we are away from home? 300 years?
Oh, easily. Yeah.
In our thinking,
in our
understanding.
Yeah.
How far do you think we are with? There's a lot of boys and girls who join this now, and they learn the triangles and the squares and the circulars and the ovals. This is baby play to learn a new language, isn't it?
Mm.
And then we learn the hand signals, which of course is just another sign. But it's called sign because it's not sing, you can't hear it. But you can see a sign, but you can't see a sing. But you can hear a sing, but you can't see a sing.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so sing and sign is the same thing. So you learn the building blocks of a new language. Then you learn the sign language that those above have been using for a long time. And then you try and hear them singing it. And you can't, can you? I see post after post after post. It's the language. They've done it with the language. That we've been programmed by the way we speak. You say, yeah, we are. So what is it you're showing me? Well, I can't tell you. I just know it's the language. What have we been doing for 18 months, 19, 20 months?
Just that.
We've been trying to tell you that the way you speak makes sense to you, but only at a childish level.
Mm.
There's another level above what you hear. And we've tried our best to tell you how it is. And people have laughed at us.
Good.
And they've said, oh, that's not right. You said, if you were brainwashed, how the hell would you know?
Mm-hmm.
How on earth would you be able to know that this language called basic, sick, basic, and you live in a ward?
We do live in wards, yes.
But we live in a dress in a ward.
We do.
Think of hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Think of hospitals. What do they put you in? In a dress. In a ward.
Mm-hmm.
In the sick bay. No, you see, that's where you lose me, guys. No, that's where you lose it. That's where you lose it by laughing. You're never going to learn if you think you've got nothing to learn. You can't. The people's voice. All I can say is that if I was running the people's voice, this is what I would have offered to the people. First of all, I'd have put together a news aggregator site. And by that I mean a bit like something called the Drudge Report or Rents.com, where they have news stories from around the world, all categorised, so we can go, instead of raking around the internet and taking an hour or two, everything is linked for us to look at. Mm-hmm. So we can check the news very quickly, because that news aggregator has done it for us. That would be great. I could go check the news that might be interesting to me very easily. So a brilliant news aggregator site. And I would love that news aggregator site to have 2 or 3 of its own journalists who, by aggregating the news stories, formulate their own news story, so I can see, the alternative view. Because what they'll aggregate is the mainstream. Mm-hmm. And I would love a journalist to rewrite them so they could say, but this is what the mainstream say, but this is what perhaps they're not saying. This is why this story exists and what they're not saying. That would be very valuable to me. It would allow me to speed things up, and it would give me an opinion that I would value, which means I would be halfway prepared to pay for it. Only halfway prepared. Then I'd like a 2 or 3 hour news programme. Fast, informative, got guests that I know the name of. Okay, not presenters that want to steal the show. When I was promoting my news programme, would I put pictures of the presenters in makeup? Would I put them sat in the makeup room, being dollied up by our makeup staff before I put them on live? I wouldn't even have a bloody makeup room. You'd have a tin of talcum powder if you were sweating.
I was going to say, I know you have to put it on, stop the glare of the lights, don't you, and things like that.
Yeah, but this is all carried away stuff.
It is.
We could do TV quality from here.
Yeah.
We're only one good camera away from doing TV quality from here that you couldn't
talked
tell.
About but you and I haven't got the faces for...
we've got the faces for radio.
We've got the faces for
bloody have got the faces for radio.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, I don't want a 24/7 station.
No.
I don't want the fluff. I don't want the in-debt and desperates. I don't want the fascinated fools. I don't want the UFO saviours.
If you've got time to be on there 24/7, what are you doing?
Well, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense, no.
Because and the information that I provide in that 2 or 3 hour news story would be relevant. It would be new, okay, and it wouldn't be a copy of what's in the news, right? It wouldn't be a copy of what's in the news using establishment figures to parrot it out. You see, we still haven't figured out, have we, that Awake is where we go to mourn the dead.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Awake, okay? Are we awake if we're discussing the past?
No.
P-A-S-S-E-D, past. So, why do we copy and pasting? Why are we copy and pasting? Do you know why we're copy and pasting? Because that story's dead.
That story's gone and dead.
That story's dead. It's now for you to watch, by all means.
Yeah.
And the closest you can be is second. You can watch all day, but you're going to be second. Because you didn't make that news story. Now, how many people are talking about what are we going to do tomorrow? What are we going to do the day after? When are we going to start to go to council meetings and challenge people who are in positions to affect our lives? When are we going to start to make these people do the jobs they're paid for? When are we going to go to the police meetings and speak to the police? When are we going to start making our own newsletters? Again, the People's Voice, if it wanted to if it wanted to put together a newsletter every fortnight, quoting articles that could be given out as handouts, I would print them out and give them out to my customers. This is what I would want from a centralised information point. Now, do I want the group that are benefiting from that to be collectivised themselves? Of course I don't. We're not going to do that. Anybody who says to you that we must all come together and fight shoulder to shoulder, they're right, but it's only in the way that the words sound. It's not going to happen like that. If it was going to happen like that, we wouldn't have so much trouble doing it, would we?
No.
You see, everybody says that's what we want. Well, they're lying. Because they don't. Because it doesn't happen, does it? We can't stop fighting for the right to be right about things that don't matter. We just can't stop ourselves, can we?
We can't, no.
We cannot shut up and allow people to say what they want. We have to comment on everything, don't we? Nasty little poke you in the eye comments.
Yeah, some of them are, aren't they?
They're quite, actually, they're quite unpleasant, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, we should be past that.
And nothing matters. It doesn't matter, though, does it? No. You've read the comments, have you? You've read some of the comments. I showed you some of the stuff.
I have read some of the comments.
And we read what was on my page, and we looked at other people's pages. They're vicious, aren't they?
Some of them are.
They're vicious little bites, aren't they? They don't want to come together. They want to sit on the sofa and fight. You see, instinctively, we compete. That's why we like watching competitions. Whether it be football, relay racing, high jump, swimming, whatever. And we know those people who are competing have trained and trained and trained a long time to achieve that standard of competition. And we respect them. And when they win, we decorate them. To a point, this is fine. We compete in stuff that we're not even qualified for. because we still are surrounded by people who think opinions and hearsay still have value. Well, they don't. Opinions and hearsay will get you laughed out of the court, because you bring me facts, you bring me evidence, and you bring me a good strong argument, and I'm going to listen to you. I'll be able to hear you. But bring me an opinion, bring me hearsay, and bring me a copy of what somebody else has done, and make it so it looks like you've done it. You see, a lot of people who steal, they don't admit they've stolen it, do they?
No.
I did that.
No, they don't.
I did that, yes. That was me. I wrote all that myself. They don't give credit to the original author, do they?
No recognition, no.
No, you see, that's why we have to obey authority, because they're the writers of the story that we're all following. And we get copy and pasters who pretend they're the authors as well, don't they? They pretend they're the authors, and they're not the authors at all, are they? Let me give you something. You know when you're through the worst of this, when you just shake your head at those that aren't. And this isn't a superiority thing we're thinking of. It's just when we see people arguing, they're never going to get any further until they shut up. Arguing is losing.
It is.
Throwing dirt is losing ground. And people have got to understand that it's very, very possible that on Fightbook, half, and I mean half, of the people that you think exist are probably fakes. They're probably fakes. In this wonderful world of technology, if a company's approached and says, look, we have this app, this bot, this program that can listen to, we can program it to listen to a certain demographic, we can program it to respond to certain situations, and we can program it to report back to you so you can use that information to your benefit. If we don't ever figure out why this national spy system of 4 million cameras and an ear in every computer, an eye and ear in every computer, if we don't understand how many people it's going to take to actually supervise and monitor this system, then we haven't taken a lot of time thinking at all, have we? Because this system hasn't been put in place not to be used against us. It is put in place to be used against us.
Yeah.
And what do the intelligence services, what are they interested most? Are they interested in the deaf and dumb people? No.
No.
They're interested in the people getting on with their lives? No. They're interested in the people just looking after the family and making do and survive? No, they're not. They're interested in people just like us, aren't they?
But he left one final warning.
1984 is, I believe, a quite terrifying masterpiece. So terrifying, in fact, I don't think I should like to read another like it.
I am not absolutely dissatisfied with it. I think it is a good idea, but the execution would have been better if I had not been under the influence of TB when I wrote it.
You once claimed that you have an ability to face unpleasant facts. Is that what you've demonstrated in 1984 by drawing an accurate portrait of the future?
I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
Now that is absolutely terrifying, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That is terrifying. When you listen on YouTube, tomorrow or whenever, because we'll put it up tomorrow, your Facebook, my Facebook, Phil the VTN, his Facebook will be on there as well. Say hello to us if you feel you want to. If you want to, just say hello. Making connections is what matters, and that's Eric Blair or George Orwell as we've got, and his history is well documented. Who he worked for, his background, and why he wrote that. Working for the Ministry of Truth. It is very hard, isn't it, to understand now, me and you, how other people are not affected by that. Mm. How they can hear it. And it shows you how anaesthetised we are, how domesticated we are, that book is given to school kids to read. Mm-hmm. That shows a level of confidence in the system.
It does.
That is a little bit unnerving, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because it's now very hard to deny that that's the path, along with the medical tyranny discussed in Brave New World. Mm-hmm. It's now impossible to at least consider by any rational thinking person that this could be where we're going to end up. And still, they sleep. Now, I'm determined never to criticise these people, because we need them. We need them in massive numbers.
Yeah.
And history teaches us that they will eventually wake up from the slumber, but it won't be with a kiss. It'll be at the end of the barrel of a gun. Mm-hmm. Now, whether it's a jab or a shot in the new sophisticated version, I suspect that's already inside the majority of us. Mm. I suspect we're already on a time clock. All of us. And when we get older, and our bodies slow down, and basically our hormones change, I think it may well be true that we're designed to get poorly. And the reason I make that remark is because that's what I see all around me. I see people who are 60-something at best, and they're poorly. And they shouldn't be, but they are. When was the last time you heard of somebody dying of old age? When was the last time?
I can't remember. I don't know.
No.
Not old age.
No, somebody just old and just was reasonably okay and just went to sleep and didn't wake up again. Mm. And they just died because their body just wore out. Mm. That's not what happens, is it? That's what happens at the end. But there's an awful lot of suffering before we get there.
Yeah.
We started tonight's show with I wanted to talk about why it's impossible to make money in the alternative news arena. And there are quite a list of reasons. The first one is that we're broadcasting to people who haven't got any. Mm. The majority of people listening have lost. Okay, they didn't get the rules properly, the same as we didn't get the rules. But we thought we had them. And we never realised that we weren't part of the community chest at all, did we?
No.
We weren't a part of the community chest at all. So we took our chances.
We did.
In this game of Monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
We now know that we live in a can't concentrate camp, which is really an institution, a mental hospital. And that's what's been built for us. And we appear to be able to put up with it. We're very adaptable, aren't we? We really are the most adaptable creatures.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whereabouts in the world we are. We've changed our skin colours, we've changed our hair, we've changed our body types, so many things have changed in the evolutionary scale depending on where we live, so we can actually live there. And even right back thousands of years, blonde hair and blue eyes was still revered, wasn't it? And even in today's modern society, blonde hair and blue eyes is still revered. And Mother Nature didn't let us down, because in the Northern Hemisphere, she does actually make more blonde-haired, blue-eyed babies than anything else.
Yeah.
Because she knows that we love them babies, and we'll protect those babies. So most babies are born with blue eyes. The majority are born with bluish eyes to start with, and the colour changes over time. And the majority are born with fair hair, and the colour changes over time. People say evolution, it's questionable as evolution. But the more I read about evolution, it seems more likely than anything else. But evolution's been hijacked, hasn't it?
It certainly
It's been hijacked by our controllers.
Yeah.
They learnt how to control us by whips and chains. And then they changed them for, dungeons and, dungeons, whips and chains.
Yeah.
And then it changed into guns, the barrel of a gun.
Yeah.
But it was all controlled by force. But now we have control by coercion.
Collars and cuffs, that's the only difference.
Correct. Now it's by coercion and ties.
Yeah.
We say unite because we can't untie ourselves, can we? We cannot untie ourselves. We cannot tune in to what it is that we should do. And that's because they've turned us into me's. That's what they've turned us into. And because this life has become a life of survival.
Yeah.
And we've been trained that it's survival of the fittest. And in the animal kingdom, that is true. The peace that they're hoping to create on Earth is a peace that's never existed before, because it's not suited them to exist before. If you ask all the lions around the world to give up the prowl and all work together, pride even, but they won't, because lions are territorial and hierarchical, and they fight for control and domination and breeding rights and that sort of thing. They want to take that instinct away from us and make us all the same. And their way of selling this to their own people is that we've controlled the world through war for a very long time, and we've managed to domesticate the majority of the public to not physically fight in the way they used to, not physically kill each other in the way they used to. We've managed to domesticate them to a tribal level of hairstyles and football shirts and handbags. We've managed to get them into a tribal collection all around that we can manipulate through culture and fashion.
Yep.
They still see it as something they have to fight over, but it's something that we can benefit from, because we can make them buy the very things that identify them as a tribe member for that clan. Whether it be however it is, whether it's cars, football clubs, cricket clubs,
pop groups,
doesn't matter.
No.
We've managed to co-opt the tribal instinct and sell them a counterfeit version, so they still feel a collective and still fight with others who don't dress the same as them. It's been very well done, hasn't it?
It has.
But now we're moving to the information age.
Yep.
And that's to arrange in predetermined order. That's to organise us now to be all the same. And if you look at today's girls and boys, you tell me that we're not making them all the same. You tell me if you can identify the boys from the girls and the girls from the boys. Because you can't, can you? There's a new classification for boys called emos. And these are the emotional guys. These are the guys that think and act and talk like girls.
They've got another word for it as well. I'm trying to think what it is. Begins with S, not sides. Can't think of it. It'll come to me
I don't
later.
know. Those old dinosaurs here.
Yeah, a classification of it's neither girl nor boy.
All right.
I'm not.
We thought that'd be called guys, didn't we?
Yeah.
At one time we thought they'd be called guys.
Yeah. It's not Aphrodite or whatever it is. It's but there is a term for that. I can't remember what it is.
Aphrodite is neither male nor female.
That's right. Yeah. No, but it's
I
not
don't know what
that.
S
But
is.
it's. I can't think what it is. Not sign. No, some.
Never mind.
Signs or
Never mind.
sinus
Never
or
mind.
something
Never
like
mind.
that. I can't think of it. But
Never
there is a
mind.
word for it. Whether it's one of these new street words that's
But we
come
can
out.
see it happening in front of our very eyes.
Yeah.
We can see it going on. Our young people no longer have the desires that we had. They don't want the same things as we had.
No, they don't.
And
no.
they don't care to want them.
I'm seeing that in my two. Yeah, it's quite disturbing, really, to see that the desire's gone. And my daughter's even said to me today, she's too frightened to even. She walks a half an hour to work. And I said, "What happened to the bike?" And she said, "I didn't go. I'm frightened when I'm on the bike because people just don't care. They're stepping out in front of you. The cars come too close to you, and I'm scared. I'm scared to even ride my bike." And I've just, heck, that was just. I thought, God, they've got us so. And I thought of mouse. We're all mice, and
Aren't we?
We're scared of the cat, and we're scared of the trap, and you don't know which way to go.
And you know the force is represented by dogs, don't you?
Yeah.
The dog tags. That's the force. They're the dogs. They're the guard dogs.
Yeah.
They'll bite every hand but the one that feeds them. That's why they're termed as dogs. The force is always the dogs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting times we live in.
They are.
I mean, we're the dinosaurs, and you know how this evolution works. It's always out with the old and in with the new. And when we get to our age, we can see how that works. That is evolution. What you and I grew up with will always be ideally improved upon, but not always for our benefit. What we had has been improved upon. The systems worked out how to make us more efficient over time.
Yeah.
In other words, it seems like it's a good thing for us, these labour-saving devices.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but it doesn't save our labour, does it?
No.
Because, like everybody before us, what we get is what we've got, and that's what we spend. But if we get more, we just spend more. Because we live in a world where having stuff is the mark of success. And yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because everyone knows having stuff won't make you happy, but they keep on buying stuff. It's like silly.
Yeah.
You know, they just keep doing it anyway. I mean,
Because we let them, and we've talked about this before. They know that whatever they do, we will speak it into reality.
now this is key, actually.
That is.
People don't understand this either.
No.
And even if you're hearing this, say, "Yeah, I do understand it," guys, say, "No, you don't. You don't really get this." They show us something that they think we're going to want,
Yeah.
and they tell us how good it is, and then make us want it.
That's it.
It's as simple as that. It's the falsehood of it all. People actually admit one thing but won't admit another. The first is that they have a dream, and that dream, they'll admit that, and that dream is that they just want to have a bit more of everything, so they have to do a bit less of everything, without going into details. That's pretty much what people would like. But the other dream that they don't share is the dream of success. That's what they go to sleep dreaming about. And the system knows this. It knows that your dreams are bigger than the ones that you release to public, for public discussion. They know in your head you've got a bigger dream, and this bigger dream involves you being successful. Now that definition changes from person to person, but for most people it's winning the lottery. Right? This is the definition of success, is to win the lottery. Other people have maybe better definitions, to be a doctor or a dentist, or whatever it is. The real ambitions, the real dreams are achievable, but for far too many, they want success to be handed to them. They want it to be given to them, whether they win it by gambling or whether they fall into it by pure good luck. But the one thing that I do know is that when most people have left the education system, and I use the word very loosely, but when you use the slave, when you finish the slave trading courses, when the indoctrination is complete, so you can now go out and give us our investment back 17 times.
Yeah.
That's where the education stops. It never improves from there. It's only ever piled upon by opinion and hearsay. And because all we have is opinion and hearsay, when pressed for the source of information, people get offended. Well, everyone thinks that. Well, you're just being awkward now because everyone knows that. Well, that must be true. Well, if that wasn't true, this wouldn't be true. Well, if that were... And you say, hang on. What you've just said, do you have anything to back it up? And they don't like you, do they? Because the world of opinions and hearsay is the one thing you have to walk away from if you want to learn how to think for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to walk away. You've got to say, I've spent an awful lot of time with all you people, and all you people have been kind enough to share your opinions and hearsay with me. And I've now learned that if I stay here, here is where I'll be.
Mm-hmm.
If I always do what I've always done, I'll always be what I've always been. Because I won't have grown any. Now, all these people are called the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about time you stopped the rest.
Yeah.
Because you've been sat down too long.
Mm.
It's time to move on.
Yeah.
It's time to move along. Your education starts when you leave school.
It does.
And I go to the University of Hard Knocks. That I've my life is my experiences. Okay. What you got? What you got? Well, I've got that. No, what have you got? Who are you? And then they describe themselves. I am a businessman. I have a house. I have a wife. I have a golf club membership. That's not them, is it? But that's how we do it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how we do it. So he said, look, who are you? I can see the outside, but I'm not interested in the outside of the packet. I'm interested in the inside of the packet. So what have you packed in?
Mm-hmm.
What have you got that I can't see without you letting me look inside? This doesn't go well, does it? It doesn't go well at all with a lot of people, does it really?
We tell the kids to pack it in as well, don't we? Pack it in.
As for
And
information,
doing.
pack it in,
Pack it in, lad.
Pack it in.
Lads and lasses, what we should be doing. Packing it
What do
in.
you think it's called
Come
a
on.
packet for?
Mm.
It's called a packet because that's what packs the information.
Yeah.
Okay, the packet isn't the outer wrap. It's what's used to pack the information in.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why what you were saying about before, about this alternative movement that I suppose we're involved in, and we watch and keep an eye on what's happening, is that they can't attract the money because of that reason.
Well,
is that the very devil in the detail?
Well, you know yourself. We've talked about this before. That the reason why you and I get on is because we're happy trading.
Mm-hmm.
We've done percussion. Percussion is, okay, to strike.
To strike,
okay?
yeah. Mm.
And concussion is to have been struck.
Struck.
So what we're actually taking part in is discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen to the word. Discussion. So are we striking? Are we
Hitting
fighting?
Hitting the right
Exactly,
note.
exactly. Good point.
Mm.
So are we actually boxing? Are we actually fighting?
Mm-hmm.
Is striking? Is that what we're doing by discussion?
Is this what it's about?
But exactly about.
Yeah.
And I'll score point after point after point with this finger here.
Yeah.
But listen to how the word's made. This is a negative, isn't it?
It is a negative, yes.
To diss somebody is to speak in the negative.
Yeah.
And to cuss is to swear or offend.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Discussion. I-O-N being the word come or cometh.
Yeah.
Because everything we speak is in the past. We don't speak future tense hardly at all.
No.
So, what's in the alternative news media? We've got a lot of people asking for money when all they've done is copied it.
Yeah.
Right? All they're doing is trying to sell us a copy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember the radio days? 1.9 for a copy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
1.9 for a copy. 1.4 for a copy. Anyone got a copy out there? The police go, copy that, copy that, copy that. The forces go, copy that, copy that, copy that. We're made to be copiers. So what happens is the alternative media, right, too many in the alternative media now, sit at home, scour the internet
for what's new,
and want paying for that time.
Yeah.
But there's nothing new under the sun.
No.
Only the people, right, who find it.
Yeah, they've researched
exactly, research. Yeah. It was never lost.
No.
It's just now you found it. So what happens is, and you and I fall into this trap, well, not this collective now, we figured that.
Yeah.
Why should we pay for something that exists? And what happens is, you can't use it.
No.
You can go spoil everybody's day by spreading darkness if you want to. Go spread the darkness a little further. Go make the world a darker place, and you think you're making it brighter. You think you're spreading the light when all you're doing is spreading the dirt. The news stories are to break us.
They are.
Okay? The news is to break us. It's a never-ending barrage of take that, take that, take that, take that. Look at what's in the news. Look at what we've got. We've got news story after news story on that wall. It's been there for weeks and months.
Yes, yeah.
Because we refuse to use them.
Yes, we are doing, yeah.
We refuse to use them. Because it just makes people smaller. It makes them feel weaker and smaller and more helpless.
Exactly, I was just going to say it. And all anybody says is, well, what can we do about it? What can I do?
But the frustrating thing is that all we need to do is get this conversation rolling.
Yeah, that's it.
We just need to get this type of speaking rolling a little bit. People get it if you share it properly. They get it. I have no problem engaging people. But I can't get them to get the depth. I can't get them to fathom the depth.
Yeah.
You see, this is where you won't do your homework. You've done your homework, and I saw you struggle with it.
No, I did, yeah.
And I've done my homework, and I was struggling with it. But we've done our homework.
Yeah.
We now know where we are. We know our situation. We don't need to be told how to think and feel.
Nope.
We don't need to be told what to do and how to say it. So we don't need to listen to other people who want to tell us how to think and feel, and want to tell us what to do and when to do it, and who wants to sell us a dream. They want to sell us a dream, and it's their dream. Right? This is their dream of, if we just do this, it'll be better. If we just join this club, it'll be better. If we just support this fella here, it'll be better. If we just give money over here, it'll be better. I got news for you guys and girls. I have news for you. And you're going to have to learn how it works, I'll tell you. You really need to learn.
I started to say a prayer out loud, and it was something like, oh God, please, if you can help us out of this situation, I'll be very grateful, and I'll do what I can, to repay you for this debt that I will owe you. And I remember Pat saying, O'Neill, quit praying. God is not the one to help you now. This is reality. This is what we need to focus on. I don't want you to go into some la-la land, not pay attention, and then get killed. I was actually grateful for him to say that. I was really trying to put my focus somewhere else and not keep it here. Pat, he saved my life.
No one is coming to save you. The Federal Reserve is not coming to save you. The IMF and World Bank is not coming to save you. In fact, no bank in the world is coming to save you. They can't. Barack Obama is not coming to save you. Mitt Romney is not coming to save you. In fact, no politician or government in the world is coming to save you. They can't. Apple is not coming to save you. ExxonMobil is not coming to save you. In fact, no corporation in the world is coming to save you. They can't. Fox News is not coming to save you. The New York Times is not coming to save you. In fact, no major media outlet in the world is coming to save you. They can't. The Marines are not coming to save you. The police are not coming to save you. No armed force in the world can save you. They can't. Occupy Wall Street is not coming to save you. The Tea Party is not coming to save you. No social organization is coming to save you. They can't. Hugo Salinas Price is not coming to save you. Eric Sprott is not coming to save you. No investor in the world is coming to save you. They can't. No secret ninja army is coming to save you. No cartoonish benevolent bankers are coming to save you. No fantasy superheroes are coming to save you. They can't. They can't because no one is coming to get you. No Muslim radicals, no neocons, no fascists, no socialists, no Jews, no Illuminati, no bankers, no shadow government. All of our problems start and stop with us. We are the ones that must face the common consequences of our active or passive support for this paradigm. We are the ones that took on the debt. We are the ones that volunteered for the wars. We are the ones that cheered our masters. We are the ones that filled their coffers. We are the ones that let the criminals run the crowd. We are the ones that went along with the crowd. We are the ones that built this beast, and we are the ones that are dependent on this beast. We did this, and there's no avoiding the inevitable consequences of our actions or inactions. We are the ones dreaming or fearing the future and not concentrating on right now. We are the ones dreaming or fearing the past and not fully living in the present. We cannot wave our magic wand of denial when reality comes knocking. We cannot pray for mercy when judgment day comes. For when fate, karma, reality, destiny, or judgment arrives, we will know that what we did or did not do will ultimately be our lot in life. We did not embrace the responsibility of living and took the easy way out time and time again. We did not say enough to either individual or institutional abusive relationships. We empowered those that sought to keep us down, and worse, cheered them on while they did it. No one is coming to save you, no one is coming to get you. We made our bed, now we must lie in it. We are either on our own highway to hell or stairway to heaven. In short, we are our own salvation and damnation. We decide, and we alone must live with those results. Only you can see things as they are, instead of holding on to fairy tales. Only you can stop supporting a paradigm built off of debt and death. Only you can focus on what you can do to empower yourself and become independent. Only you can stop using their debt money and buy things that have real, tangible value. Only you can save yourself. So stop pushing others to listen to you, and stop blaming others for your own problems. It is time to grow up, stand up, and face the facts that this way of life is done. And it should be done, for what are we holding on to? In fact, it needs to end so horribly that humanity can finally say that debt and collectivism did not work. Only then can we start building a life built around honest money and honest people.
Deacon Blue there with dignity. And, yeah, where is our dignity? And I was just writing some bits and pieces down there while that was playing. And I've wrote down, how many people do you know in these professions that are in this so-called movement? And I've started with police. How many policemen do you know? How many lawyers do you know that are in it? How many counsellors? How many bankers? How many doctors? How many surgeons? How many politicians are on our side? How many pharmacists? How many nurses are in this? How many care home owners that are coming out and speaking about this? How many tax officers? How many civil servants do you know? I know Mark McGowan's had a few in his car, and there's a few people he spoke to there. And then, do you know what I've wrote under that? I've wrote high society. Because that's how they see themselves. This is too big and too great for them.
There is something else, you know, and that is that over time they actually get a reality in their heads that says you wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for me.
Us. Yes.
Yeah. If it wasn't because we built the system that allowed you to be successful.
Yeah.
And now we want pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what goes on in their heads.
Mm-hmm.
That's who gets promoted.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they want.
Yeah.
Because this system is going to bankrupt us.
It is. Yeah.
Spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Yeah.
And it's well on the way.
It is. And do you know who I've got more respect for? I was driving into Harrogate today, and there was a lady, and she was wrapped up warm because it was coming a little bit colder, and she was walking through the streets, pushing a trolley, and she'd got a little grabber, and she'd got a high-vis jacket on, and she was going round picking all the litter up. And those are the people that really care. For that lady to get up every morning, come rain or shine, and wrap herself up in a coat to pick the litter up from us swines that cannot be bothered to even put our rubbish in the bin. This is why we're absolutely screwed.
And that's and that's what the song's about.
Yeah, it is.
That's what Deacon Blue Dignity is about.
It is.
Do we have no pride left? We don't, do we?
We don't. No,
we don't.
Because we feel we're better than everybody else. But it just gets you so mad, and it's awful. It really is.
I know what you're saying.
I was one of those.
I know what you're saying. I know.
I was one of those people that looked down on that lady and would have laughed. And I know we had somebody in Ripon, and the kids.
They tormented him.
They tormented the poor guy.
They actually. I mean, I can't. I'm not speaking out of school, but I'm not speaking that I know this. But I know the guy you're thinking of. Okay,
Yeah.
we won't. I know his name as well, but I'm not going to say it. And when he first started that job, he was happily married and was a customer of mine. And we're going back 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. Now, over time, I've seen the gentleman that you're talking about. I've seen him lose his marbles a little bit because of the torment from the kids.
Yeah,
and because he was a certain type, he bit, and the kids loved it.
Yeah,
and they made his life a misery. He fought back, but there was no fight. All he had to do was have a laugh, but he didn't.
No,
he fought back.
They broke him. Yeah,
and I now know
kids broke it, and he was picking their litter up.
I know. This
kids strew it.
I know, and they purposely used to empty the bins.
Yeah,
they purposely. I mean, kids are bloody cruel. They really are.
Well, yeah, we have.
Well, I can tell you his personal situation now. I can tell you it. His wife left him almost a year and a half ago, and he's now been moved areas. He's been moved from this area because of the torment and terror that he was working under. And I think he's actually taking medication and help. Because what was a stable, happily married guy has gone to an unstable loner.
Where was the community support officers on that day? Where were they? Probably going through some kids' pockets somewhere. No wonder they've got no respect.
Teaching the kids who the new police are.
Yeah.
Teaching who the new police are.
Back to the Orwell.
Our community support officers, right? They don't work for free. They're not specials. No. They get paid £17,000-18,000 a year. They're replacing the young Bobby on the beat. They don't sign anything. They don't promise to protect anything.
No.
They promise to serve their paymasters. And we pay their bills. We pay their wages. And now we pay their fines.
Yeah.
Well, they're incentivised.
They're
incentivised to find things that can be charged to us.
Yep.
Homeland Security, we should call them.
We should give them the proper name. Yeah.
Because that's what they are.
Yeah.
That's what they are. Yeah. Reality ain't pretty.
No.
And we always try and temper our what we say because we know other people are listening.
Yeah.
And we say don't spread the darkness, and yet we almost do the same thing ourselves. But it depends what your ears are picking up.
Yeah, it depends what they're tuned into, yeah.
You know, if you're picking up the darkness and depression, then okay. I know you're still in the nightmare sleeping stage. And I feel for you. But you've got to fight your way out of this now. You've got to fight your way out of the deep, dark hole that you feel you're in. This is your personal challenge. This is what teaches you who you are. Now, I get really troubled by... We've talked about our alternative news gurus and how they want paying.
Yeah.
And they get annoyed if enough people don't pay them. They do. I've had an email yesterday from one of the bigger names who says... And the email is headlined... just a thanks very much to let you know what's happening this year. Right, and the email is full of, I want some more money, please. And this isn't the first, second, or third, or fourth time. And this is a name that everybody knows, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not here to cause trouble. This is a name that everybody knows. And I want some more money, please. My girlfriend's car exhaust is broken. Okay, I'm moving house, and I'm getting married at the end of the month. And I need some money. So, I'll list all the things that I've done, and now I want you to pay me for it. They've got every right to send the email. But I don't subscribe to his show. And I don't get any value from his broadcasts. Because what happens is, he lets anybody on his show. He gives anybody who wants the stage a stage to say what they want. I've got no problems with that. So whose show is it? It's the guest show.
Yeah.
It's not his show. But what am I paying for? He doesn't pay the guests. Backwards, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway, enough about that. This is why you can't make money in this. Okay?
Yeah.
I wish the People's Voice well. I gave my 10 pence worth. How hard I'd done it. Do I want to be on the People's Voice? No. Do I want to be associated with the people? No, I don't really. I don't think I've got anything more to share with them, really.
No.
I don't think I've got anything that they need.
No, we're happy doing what we do.
And if more people did what we did, on their own...
Happy with what they would want it to do.
Well, the thing is that if we did like a phone-in, right? We said what we'll do is we'll have a phone-in. Nobody phones in.
No, we've
Nobody phones in.
done that. Nobody phones in.
So, if you're listening to us and you're perhaps these silly old so-and-sos from Yorkshire,
good,
two old boys who reckon they know how it all works, who think they know it all.
You're right.
You're right. We don't. Believe me, every time we do this, we always end the evening not on microphones, but when we listen back a little bit, we always say, and the real truth that I know I believe in and nothing else is, I wish we were wrong.
Yes.
I wish we were wrong on it all.
Yeah.
I wish someone would come and say, hey guys, look. I know a lot of people are getting something from it, but hey, this has been a test, and the reasons you're wrong is, and they give me a list, and I go away and have a little think about it, do a bit of research, and say, have I passed or failed? There's no money in the alternative news network because the majority of people in it don't have any. The only successful model that I know of is Alex Jones. And he's taken 18, 19 years to build it. And it would appear that that is the successful method, because I don't see anybody else challenging him at all. My opinions on Alex Jones don't matter in the slightest. He's a gung-ho Texan. And I think I'd quite like to have a drink with him. And I'm done with Alex Jones on that point. That's it, that's me and Alex done. I don't know him. I listen to some of his stuff. I find it interesting. He's American, he lives in Texas, and he talks about American stuff. I don't waste too much more time doing anything else. If we had the equivalent in the UK, yeah, I'd be interested. Give me a news site. Give me an up-to-date and fast, informative news service. Give me presenters who just present, as opposed to go into makeup and it's all about them. Just give me a presenter who just allows everybody else to talk and understands how to link it all together. Yeah. Give me one of those, and you've got me interested.
Yeah.
And if you were telling me things that I find useful and interesting, I'd have no problems giving you 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 quid a month. Yeah. Would I be part of your collective? No, I wouldn't. I'd carry on doing our own shows. Yeah. We'd live our own lives. We'd speak to our own friends. The answer's always somewhere between everything, isn't it? It's not do one thing or the other. It's a common promise.
Yeah.
It's a compromise. It's a compromise. You have to compromise because you can't have your own terms and conditions on everything. I know you want your own terms and conditions on everything, and I know you want life to fall into place so you get exactly what you want when you want it, on the terms you're happy paying, over the length of time that you're happy paying it. That's not how it works. How it works is trading.
Yeah.
You trade with each other. I'll do this if you'll do that.
Yeah. And sharing.
Trade, share, same thing.
I've got something to share tonight, and the cold weather's coming. Build yourself a plant pot heater. It's got to be a terracotta plant pot, not a plastic one. My brother's built one, and it's got to be a 15-inch plant pot, the outer one. And you put another. There's tons of. Go on YouTube, find it. They work. I built myself one as well. It's not. I couldn't get a 15-inch plant pot because mine was a second-hand plant pot. I couldn't afford a 15-inch plant pot. Anyway, I built one out just to test it.
Yep.
You put candles underneath it on a brick, on a slate or whatever.
Yep.
Don't do what I did and put it on your laminate flooring on a tile.
No.
Because it scorched got that hot, it scorched my laminate flooring. So I've got a bit of laminate flooring to repair. So they do give out enough heat. My brother's is heating his room. And you keep the door shut, you leave it on long enough, but the candles have got to be big as well. You've got to put 4 big candles underneath it. He's called it his 4-candle heater. But they do work.
Want some oars? Some oars. Want some oars?
Well, he's heating his peas on the top of it. A tin of peas. I want some peas.
Don't.
No, we won't go there.
I can't go. Oars, peas, 4 candles, plugs. There's plugs. A classic, absolute classic, isn't it?
It was, yeah.
Don't make me laugh.
It was.
But I've got tears running down my legs.
They do work. Get out, build yourself. I think it cost him, in bits and pieces, plant pot, candles, and bits and pieces. It cost him about £9. And they do work. And it might make you turn your heating down a little bit, at least in one room. Save yourself some money. Stop giving our energy. They harvest our energy.
They do,
We saw a company in Manchester called Harvest Energy.
The petrol station, wasn't it?
Petrol station.
We saw a
giggled.
And we saw a petrol station on the way back from Aberdeen called Gleaner.
Yes.
Gleaner Energy.
Yeah. Crikey, they're having a laugh at us out there.
They are all in it together. They're all in it together.
They are.
You know, this freedom's it's just an illusion. You know, we say we spend our lives lying to ourselves and pretending. But the truth is we do. If you can't see that, it's okay you can't see it. But it doesn't mean we're wrong. We're not wrong. We're not. I know we're not, and you know we're not. Yeah. There's no money in the alternative truth media. And you know what? They're not going to save you.
No.
Okay, they're not going to come and save you. If anybody says if we just come together, right, those little lines there, if we just all come together, this will be successful. Now let's talk about why this will be successful, because apparently we've all just come together. That would be an interesting shared experience, wouldn't it? We all came together.
Yeah. But trouble is,
get that decode or not.
Will, yeah. I will.
Choose for yourself. It's obvious. I mean, you sat down half an hour or so before we started. What did you say? You said, I can't believe it. It's so linked in. I can't stop it. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of the comments here in the chat box about magazines and racks. Oh. And you think, yeah, but they don't connect them to guns, do they?
No.
And bullet points.
No.
They don't. But you see, it's everywhere. The media is the new bullets.
They are,
that they shoot us with.
Yeah.
Because we're now so small, so domesticated, so minute.
We're an easy target.
Because we're bothered about the outside.
Yeah, you make yourself an easy target.
We're bothered about things that we shouldn't be bothered about.
Yeah.
But we don't profess we can change that, because we know we can't change that way of thinking. We know.
Well,
we're here now.
The titles of the magazines: Heat, Closer. You just think, oh God, they're taking the mick. Come on, they're taking the mick.
I used to fight my sister for Take a Break. That was a few years ago. We used to live together about 20 years ago. She was pilly at the time, actually. That's why we lived together. Thursday morning, Take a Break used to come. All the girly stories.
Yeah.
I never admitted to reading it. I just marvelled at it. I just marvelled at in fact, I now know that probably half of them weren't true. But I marvelled at what it is that girls liked. And they like to know everything. And I mean everything about relationships. They have to get in and know everything about it. Now, I've not been privy to private, to girls' conversations at that level, but I think they just have to know everything. There is something that I want to come back to, and that's, we know about our 5 senses.
Yeah.
But we've discussed before that I'm sure there's 3 more. Because I can sense 3 more. We've talked about number 6, and that's common sense.
Yep.
And putting that back, it's not as easy as you think.
That isn't as easy.
It's not as easy as you think. And I'll give you an example. I came out of Morrison's today. Okay? Oh, he's been to Morrison's, shouldn't go to the big shops. Whatever. Have you got a water filter? Are you spending cash? You got a water filter, you're spending cash? Yeah? Growing your own fruit and veg, are you?
You're going to McDonald's.
Yeah, just, never mind. Don't judge me and I won't judge you. I'm not perfect, neither are you. Alright, let's not judge each other, but let's just talk about what we see and share what we see and see if it's got value. Came out of Morrison's. The charity was Samaritans today. Nice big, they always have like it's a bit like a Punch and Judy stall, actually, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if you realised that before, but it looks like a Punch and Judy setup.
That's the way to do it.
And, well, today's did anyway. With the bottom half where he would hide, and obviously the performance area, and then the bit above saying Samaritans, here we are. And I just thought it's bloody Punch and Judy. Anyway, and I thought, I've got a minute. And my sister used to actually do a Samaritans, a couple of shifts for the Samaritans through the night time when she was ill and she couldn't walk very well. She used to go through there because she could talk and everything. She wasn't in pain, but she couldn't walk very well. She's fixed now, but at the time she couldn't walk. She said, what am I going to do? I'll go and do something for the Samaritans. And she enjoyed it, actually.
Good for her.
Yeah, anyway. I thought I'll have a chat to him. So I said, hello, pal. And I told him about my sister, and I said, she works from a small house in Harrogate. He said, it's still there. And I said, obviously, you're doing this as well. He said, yeah, we all do a bit every week. And I said, smash it. I said, well, I'm going to donate to the Samaritans. I'll give you a little bit of something because I do understand that, especially in today's world, we sometimes need someone to talk to and there's nobody else available. And I understand how important you are to some people. So I'm going to donate. He said, I'm sorry, I can't take your money. I said, really? I said, yeah. So what are you here for? He said, no. He said, I'm here. He said, because what I need is, do you have any ID? I said, why? He said, because if I could take your ID and if you've got your debit card with you, if I can get your bank account number and your sort code, we can set up a standing order.
Oh, no.
I was like, really? He said, yeah. He said, that's how we do it now. I said, but I've been given a perfect stranger the ability to set up a standing order to my bank. And maybe I just want to give you a donation today. Yeah. Because I'm comfortable with giving you a donation today anonymously. Oh, I can't take it, he said.
Is that because they don't trust him with the money?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
He just said, I can't take it. Oh, so I said, well, I don't know what to say now. I'll be off then. But what I'm saying is that now is acceptable. Everyone says, that's fine. What's up with that, Paul? This is an example of where common sense is starting to get skewed. Right? You either give us what we ask for every month, or we don't want your money.
Or we don't want it.
Well, since when was that the case? I mean, it wasn't him personally, and it's not the Samaritans in Harrogate. It's just that, don't give us your money, give us it every month. Well, I felt a little inclined to launch into, you're asking for a couple of quid a month. You're asking the wrong people. I mean, we've just had our MPs commissioned paintings of themselves.
Yep.
They've admitted to spending £250,000 of taxpayers' money on self-portraits for nothing more than their own narcissistic, ego-driven,
power trips
characters. Yeah. And when questioned about it, one Tory MP says, well, that's chicken feed. Don't worry about that, it's chicken feed. It's very important that we should have these portraits done to commemorate our place in history. I know I'm not well and you're not better either. But we're getting better, we're alright.
Frog in my throat
but
there, sorry.
But that's what he said.
Yeah.
It's very important that these portraits are done to commemorate our time and place in history. Since when? Well, since now, apparently.
All right. Can we roast the chickens that that chicken feed's gone to?
But do you think? You see, this doesn't end here, does it? Shall we get on to red carpets? Shall we get on to gold rings? And then eventually, shall we? Shall we put thrones and crowns on?
Well.
Shall we?
I'm not kissing the ring anyway if they do get one.
But
So,
you know what I mean here, don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
This is where this ends
scary.
up. With the white face paint and the makeup and the headdress. And the gowns and the capes and the rings and the red carpets and the flags and the bows. This is where this goes, you know.
It is purple. They've been wrapping
This is where it bloody ends up.
purple capes like emperors. Club of Rome.
Do you remember a band called Depeche Mode?
I do, yeah.
Do you remember the word the Pesce, fish,
Ah,
mode?
right.
You remember that?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, keep quiet. So welcome back then, 10:28, Tuesday the 14th of January, 2014.
It is.
We are 1/30th the way through the year, just over 1/30th of the way.
Yep.
Isn't that scary? 1/30th
yeah.
of the way. My name's Paul.
My name's Andy.
And this is the Unpenned Show, our last segment of the evening. We're broadcasting live on Awake, on Blog Talk, and on the Shaziz Radio Network around the world.
From
our North Yorkshire headquarters.
That's the one, yes.
From our North Yorkshire headquarters that we shall defend to the very end.
We will.
We shall defend it to the
We've
very
got
end.
a plan for that as well, haven't we? We might share with you some other time. But we're in January. I'm sure people have made a New Year's resolution. I haven't. I think
Well, we sort of have.
Well, I suppose we have, yeah.
Sort of have, because we're still doing it.
Well, but we did have a bit of a wobble over the Christmas period, didn't we? We had a little talk, and we weren't quite sure whether we were going to carry on doing the shows.
Now we can say why now, can't we? We know why.
We had to go through the process to get to the why, though, didn't we?
Well, let's do it then. Let's talk about why. And the reason why is because it sounds selfish, but listen through to the end. Everybody on the internet is on there for a reason.
Yeah.
And whether they choose to admit it or not, the majority who are doing this sort of thing, okay, they're looking for numbers.
Yep.
Okay, they're looking for numbers who listen. And this is very important to them.
Yeah.
Subscriptions and numbers and reactions and support. And I understand why. Because they're trying to monetize it.
Yeah.
They're trying to turn it into something that they can do full time. And this is not a criticism, is it?
No, the depth charging it.
They are.
Yeah.
This is not a criticism of those people who are trying to do that. They have every right to do that.
Yep.
And good luck to them. I don't wish them badly. But we're not doing that.
No.
And we can't quite align with people who are, can we?
No.
Because on one level, this is like a hobby.
Yeah.
It's a very important hobby.
It is.
But we only give it a couple of hours a week and a little bit of news sourcing in between times. Because the internet does not occupy our time in the way that others are occupied by it.
No.
We find other things more interesting.
Yeah.
Whether it's actually going outside and living, or whether it's just reading.
Yeah.
I actually get so much pleasure now from watching the films again. Now, I mean, we're 6 years in now, you and I.
Yeah.
You know, 6 years in, I mean, most people walk away from this stuff after about 4 or 5 years, at the very, very most. Because they come to the conclusion that we've come to. And that is that there is no particular method of doing this. It's your own style.
Yeah.
It's your own effort. It's your own input. And all you need to be with that is proud of yourself for doing it.
Yeah.
We don't need a pat on the head. We don't need somebody else to recognise or reward what we're doing.
No.
Because all you're really listening to is a recorded chat of what we do on Tuesdays.
Of our Tuesday night chat,
Yeah. So we don't expect anything more for it.
No.
Because we don't think it's got any more value than you give it. So we don't try and sell you it.
No.
There's no charge for this.
No, we just want to share our experience with you.
That's why we do it, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't think it's got a value that we can attach to it.
No.
But we're delighted if somebody else says it has. Then we've done what we wanted.
Yeah, if it helps them.
We've done it. Yeah, we've done that. That's it. But we don't actually ask. No ego, no deep... Well, we say there's no ego. What is the ego? The ego is the thing that can get hurt.
It's the outer shell.
But let's not pretend we don't have one.
No. We've
Because
all got a little ego.
Well, some more than others.
Yeah.
And we can be hurt. We can be hurt like other people, but not by Facebook comments.
No.
Okay. We can't be hurt by, I'm going to unsubscribe. That'll teach them. I'm going to not be friends with them anymore. I'm not going to share their stuff anymore because I'm not.
We have a little laugh between ourselves, don't we? Lost another subscriber.
Yeah, we lost one. We got up to the magic number of 180. 180! But we've lost 2 more. I have no idea why. I have no idea.
We must have upset somebody by what we're saying.
But it doesn't matter.
We don't come in here to upset people. We just come here to say what we want to say. And if you're upset by that, tough.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it anyway.
But we enjoy doing this because... We enjoy it because it makes us focus. It does help us on, doesn't it?
It does. That I think.
And we wondered if Tuesday nights, how many times can we do these Tuesday nights and say the same thing different?
Yes.
How many times can we go through the same routine and try and get, and it's actually a personal challenge.
Yeah.
Can you think of another way of saying it? Yeah, I can this week. Okay, we'll do it then.
Yeah.
Can I think of another way of saying it? Yeah, I can this week, so we'll do it again.
We try. The competition keeps us going.
Well, the competition is about trying, isn't it?
It is.
It's about scoring goals.
Yeah.
It's about achieving your own targets. Yeah. It's about hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's about pushing the button that matters. And I know, and you know because you're still here with me, we're quietly confident in our own ability to at least transmit this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, whether anyone's receiving it, well, that's a feeling.
Yes.
You see, you're never going to remember what we say in a wanna. I know you're not. But what you will remember is how you felt when you were listening. It's how we made you feel.
Yeah. That's the other sense, isn't it?
That's sense number 7.
It is, yes.
Sense number 7. Now, sense number 8 is knowing. Is knowing what you've just listened to. Knowing what you've felt. And the addition of common sense and feeling teaches you how to know. And when you learn how to know, you can look at what others are doing, and you know where they are, and you know how they are, and you know what they're thinking. The People's Voice tried to run before it even learned to talk. It set up a professional, as best it could, TV station, and it had never made a programme. It's used a mixture of paid employees and freebies, which will never work out.
No. Yep.
It'll never work out that way.
Exactly. What we were saying earlier about getting together, we will never get together.
No, we won't.
We can't agree on anything.
But you've got to pay people for what they do for you.
You have, yes.
Right, you don't expect anything for free, because if it's given for free, you'll be made to pay for it later. If somebody does you a favour and they don't charge you, they're going to want paying in the future.
You should expect to repay the favour.
Because that's how life works.
That's how we should
Even
be.
our VT editor, we pay him. Because why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I don't want his time for free. I don't expect it. And I don't feel able to ask for it unless I pay for it.
Yeah.
This is the world we live in.
It is.
Sharing's fine if you're sharing things of equal value. But you can't barter on everything, can you?
No, and what you will find by sharing and not expecting a monetary return for it is you suddenly find out who your friends are.
Good point.
You do. Because
I know. There are takers and makers.
There are.
Yeah, and some people who
said that before.
And some people pretend to be makers.
They do.
And eventually you think, what was it that you made again?
Yeah.
All right, you just made me poor.
I'm washing my hair tonight is usually the answer you'll get from those type of people.
I know, fella. I know.
You've got to lose them fast. I've lost a lot of friends fast.
It does.
Over the last 6 years, and I'm proud to say that it's enabled me to make the judgment.
It allows you to move on, doesn't it?
It does allow you to move on.
What a good word that is, discernment. What a great word discernment is, because it's so important.
Taught me that.
Discernment is being able to split fact and fiction. Being able to hear the truth.
Yeah.
Now, we never say we've got the truth.
No.
But we've got a version of the truth
Yes.
that makes the most sense.
More sense at this moment in time.
And the thing is that the truth is always movable. It never sits still.
Never sits still.
It won't sit still because it gets changed by facts.
It does.
Facts becoming available and new information coming to light, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So anybody who tells you they've got the truth, they've only got today's version. And they could change it tomorrow. So don't nail them for that.
No.
It's hidden in everything that you're looking at. But the one thing that I can tell you is that everything is a bigger or smaller version of everything else.
Yeah.
If you can see and picture what happens in a playground, then you may be able to see and picture what happens in every playground you look at.
Yeah.
Because that's how it made sense for me. The bullies, the girls, the boys, the bullies, the cowards, the sports, the skipping, the hide and seek, the hopscotch, they're everywhere.
They are.
Every day is a day at school, and you've got a chance to learn, or just forever playtime. Nothing is hidden in a way that we can't find it. The reason why we think this system is so clever is because it's made us the complete opposite. It's made us less than we should be. We've got to work awfully hard to at least get back to the surface. You know, if I could paint a picture, and I say this many times, today's picture would be an ocean, and below the ocean would be a pyramid, and all the classifications that you've seen that pyramid on the internet, haven't you? With us at the bottom, and the police and the civil servants, and you've seen it, haven't you? You've seen that pyramid being built, and the top cone would be the HMS QE2, and that would be on the surface sailing, and everybody else
would be
underneath at a different level of drowning. That's the picture that I would paint, and that's perhaps, that might help somebody to picture how it really works. Sailing on the 7 seas. Another Tuesday, my friend.
Yes, it certainly is.
Thank you very much to everybody for listening. Your time, thank you for giving us it. It
Time's
really
precious.
The reason that we do this is because we know you're there, and we know you're listening, and we know if we mess about and make a fool of ourselves, you'll have no trouble telling us. And we're okay with it. That's why we do this.
And don't burn your laminate flooring.
We'll be back next Tuesday. Have a great week till next week. Thank you to all the guys and girls on Wake Radio who let us do this for free.
They do.
They let us do this
thank
for
you
free.
very much.
We'll find a way of paying them back somehow.
We will. Yeah.
Our time will come.
It will.
It's good night from me.
And good night from me.